Imagine holding a key that could unlock every door of blessing, guidance, and risk you've ever prayed for. What if I told you that this key is something you already recite every single day, yet most of us overlook its hidden power? That key is Surah Al-Fatiha, the opening chapter of the Qur'an, recited in every Salah, but rarely reflected upon with the depth it deserves. Within its 7 short verses lies a divine secret that connects you directly to Allah, strengthens your faith, and opens pathways to rizq beyond what you can imagine. Rizq is not just money. It's peace, health, guidance, opportunities, and barakah in every part of life. In this video, we'll uncover how Surah Al-Fatiha can transform the way you see rizq and how, with reflection, it becomes the most powerful key every believer dreams about. 1. Surah Al-Fatiha as the key. Surah Al-Fatiha is often called al-Kitab, the mother of the book, because it serves as the foundation of the entire Qur'an. It is the very first chapter, and Allah chose it to be the opening, highlighting its unmatched importance. Just as a key unlocks a door, Al-Fatiha unlocks the heart of the believer and the treasures of the Qur'an. Every Salah begins with this surah, and without it, prayer is incomplete. This shows that Allah has placed a secret power in its recitation. By starting our worship with Al-Fatiha, we are reminded that all blessings, including rizq, flow through a proper connection with Him. It sets the tone for our relationship with Allah, acknowledging His mercy, guidance, and lordship before asking for anything. The beauty of this surah is that it combines praise, gratitude, surrender, and dua in just a few verses. It teaches us that the first step to receiving rizq is recognizing that Allah owns everything and controls every provision. Just as no door can open without a key, no rizq can reach us without the spiritual key of Al-Fatiha. When recited with awareness, it becomes a gateway to sustenance, peace, and divine blessings. 2. Direct conversation with Allah. One of the greatest secrets of Surah Al-Fatiha is that it is not just a recitation. It is a direct dialogue with Allah. In an authentic hadith, the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, narrated that Allah responds to every verse of Al-Fatiha when it is recited in prayer. This means when we stand in Salah and recite these words, we are not speaking into silence. Our Creator is replying to us in ways we cannot hear but should deeply feel. For example, when we say, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Allah responds, My servant has praised me. When we declare, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in, He answers, This is between me and my servant will have what he asks for. This dialogue transforms prayer from a ritual into a living, personal exchange. When a believer realizes this, their heart softens, their concentration increases, and their trust in Allah deepens. In this state, rizq is not just sought mechanically, but with the certainty that Allah hears every request and responds. Recognizing Al-Fatiha as a conversation elevates our Salah and makes it a means of attracting divine mercy and provision. 3. Acknowledging Allah as provider. When we recite Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, we are reminded that every form of sustenance, whether material or spiritual, originates from Allah alone. The word Rabb carries a deep meaning. It refers to the one who creates, nurtures, sustains, and perfects His creation. By declaring Allah as the Rabb of all worlds, we admit that our survival, growth, and success are not dependent on our own efforts or the help of people, but entirely on His will and generosity. This acknowledgement reshapes our perspective on rizq. It frees us from relying blindly on jobs, businesses, or human connections as the ultimate sources of provision. Instead, we view them only as means, while the true provider is Allah. This mindset brings peace to the heart, especially during financial struggles, because we know the door of rizq is always in His control. Praising Allah at the start of Al-Fatiha also teaches gratitude. Recognizing Him as the sole sustainer makes us more thankful for every blessing, no matter how small. Gratitude itself becomes a magnet for rizq, as Allah promises, "If you are grateful, I will surely increase you." Qur'an 14:7. Thus, acknowledging Allah as the provider opens pathways to greater abundance and unseen blessings. 4. Seeking help only from Allah. When we recite Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, you alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help, we are declaring our absolute dependence on Allah. This verse is not just a statement of faith, it is a covenant. It reminds us that no matter how much effort we put into our work, studies, or business, true success and rizq come only when Allah supports us. Without His help, even the best opportunities slip through our hands, and with His help, even small means can produce great blessings. This part of Surah Al-Fatiha also protects us from arrogance. Sometimes, when we achieve success, we may think it was because of our intelligence, skills, or planning. But this verse brings us back to humility, teaching that effort is required, yet the result belongs to Allah alone. It also shifts our mindset during hardships. Instead of becoming hopeless or relying entirely on people, we learn to turn to Allah first. Asking Him for help strengthens our trust and makes our dua more powerful. In this reliance lies the secret to rizq, because the one who owns all treasures is the only one worthy of being asked. 5. Guidance as rizq. When we recite Ihdinas Siratal Mustaqim, guide us to the straight path, we are asking Allah for the greatest form of rizq, guidance. Many people limit rizq to wealth, but the reality is that no blessing is more valuable than being rightly guided. Money, status, and opportunities can all vanish, but divine guidance protects a believer in this world and ensures success in the hereafter. Asking for the straight path means seeking clarity in choices, protection from misguidance, and consistency in faith. It is Allah's way of granting us the ability to make the right decisions in matters of religion, family, work, and even financial dealings. Sometimes, rizq is lost not because of lack of effort, but because of poor choices. Guidance corrects this by directing us toward halal opportunities and away from harm. This verse also teaches us that rizq is not just about having more, but about having what is pure and beneficial. A person with little wealth but strong guidance lives in peace, while one with riches but no direction lives in emptiness. Therefore, every time we ask Allah for the straight path, we are in fact asking Him for a rizq that sustains both body and soul. 6. The secret of reflection. The true power of Surah Al-Fatiha is unlocked when it is recited with reflection and sincerity. Many Muslims recite it multiple times daily in Salah, but often without contemplating its meanings. Reflection transforms these words from mere sounds into heartfelt conversations with Allah, filling the heart with faith and hope. When we pause to reflect, each verse becomes a reminder of Allah's mercy, guidance, and control over our lives, which in turn strengthens our trust in Him as the source of rizq. Sincerity in recitation also matters deeply. When a believer truly feels the words of Al-Fatiha, they begin to align their thoughts and actions with its message. This mindfulness builds humility, gratitude, and reliance on Allah, qualities that attract divine blessings. Reflection makes our dua more meaningful, because instead of repeating verses mechanically, we recite them with an awareness that Allah is listening and responding. The secret is not how often we recite the surah, but how present our hearts are while reciting it. A single, heartfelt recitation can open doors that countless distracted recitations cannot. Thus, reflecting upon Surah Al-Fatiha turns it into a key that unlocks rizq, peace, and guidance in every aspect of life. 7. Broader meaning of rizq. Many people think of rizq only in terms of money or material wealth, but Islam teaches us that rizq is far broader and deeper. Rizq includes everything Allah provides to sustain our bodies, minds, and souls. Good health, loving family, pure knowledge, opportunities, peace of mind, and even the ability to wake up for prayer are all forms of rizq. When this wider meaning is understood, the believer begins to see Allah's generosity in every detail of life, not just in financial gain. Material wealth without inner peace can feel empty, while limited means with contentment can feel abundant. This is why rizq must be viewed as a balance of worldly blessings and spiritual nourishment. Sometimes Allah provides us with protection from harm, or places barakah in small earnings, making them more beneficial than large sums. This too is rizq. Recognizing these hidden forms of provision increases gratitude, which in turn brings even more blessings. It also reduces anxiety, because the believer understands that rizq is not limited to what is in their bank account, but is written by Allah in countless unseen ways. Surah Al-Fatiha teaches us to appreciate this comprehensive rizq, reminding us that every blessing is a gift from the Most Merciful. Surah Al-Fatiha is more than just the opening of the Qur'an. It is the opening to countless doors of rizq, mercy, and guidance. When we recite it with sincerity and reflection, we connect directly with Allah, the true provider of all blessings. May Allah fill your life with halal rizq, endless barakah, and peace of heart. If this reminder touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Aspire Deen for more uplifting Islamic content. Comment below this beautiful dua. Ya Allah, grant me rizq with barakah and guide me on the straight path.